Do not attempt to perform these or any exercises without first consulting your physician about whether the exercises are right for you and whether you are capable of doing them without trained supervision. The producers, distributors, and creators of the program are not responsible for injuries resulting from any viewer's use of it.
In 1928, Jose Limon came to New York to study painting. And by chance, he went to see a dance concert by Harold Kreutzberg. After the concert, he turned to a friend and said, "My, that was a living canvas on stage, much more exciting than anything I've ever painted. It had dynamics, it had color, it had sound, it had depth. How do I study this? What can I do to learn to be a dancer?" The friend he was with is someone who happened to go to school with Charles Weidman in Lincoln, Nebraska, and said, well, there's the Doris Humphrey Charles Weidman School of Dance, and took him over there to take his first dance class. Well, not long after his first class, Doris Humphrey and Charles Weidman were so impressed with Jose as a dancer, they put him in the Humphrey Weidman Company, and he was dancing before he was even ready to perform. So in order to become a performer, Jose had to develop a way to teach himself how to do Doris's movements and how to do Charles's movements. Doris's movements were very breathy, suspended, while Charles's movements were very gestural. So Jose developed a technique to teach himself how to dance. This technique is not a technique where you learn position A, position B, or position C, but you learned how to move through position A to position B to position C. My name is Daniel Lewis, and I'm here to teach you how to do the Jose Limon dance technique. The Limon technique is a technique built on not positions, but motion and movement, and how that movement relates to the positions is the important part of the technique. There are different things you can use to create this technique. The first one is called succession. Succession in a movement is a sequential flow of movement through the body. So if the wrist took the action of the movement, the hand, the knuckles, and the fingers would follow through. After that, we have something called fall. Jose always felt that we were trapped on this earth by gravity. And in most dancing up to the time, gravity was always used to lift away from it. Jose felt, let's use this gravity to pull us to earth, and at the same time feel the lift away from it, whereas you get an opposition to the gravity. Gravity pulls you at a rate of 32 feet per second, which means it speeds up. So if the body is falling, it doesn't fall evenly, it falls with an acceleration at the bottom. When children fall, they have no problem at all because they're not afraid of actually hitting the ground. As adults, we have a fear of letting our bodies go and fall very quickly. So we use rebound and recovery to stop that fall and redirect the energy in a new way. In a rebound, the fall through, let's say, the spine, if this was the spine, would come down and stretch out. That stretch out gives you the rebound to come up again. In recovery, it's more like a pendulum. The pendulum falls and it recovers and finds a nice suspension, which is a moment where the movement is delayed before it falls down again. Recovery and suspension are two ways of redirecting fall. In my class, I always talk about the high point of the body. The high point is the central axis of the body. So if you're at the top of the head, the high point would be here. As the body bends, the high point transfers to the neck and down into the ribs. And that's the high point you're always hanging from. The high point could be almost anywhere on the body. It's just wherever the axis of the body is. Alignment is a very important part of the technique. And the alignment I talk about in the technique is the head, the shoulders, the hips, the waist, the knees, and the feet all being aligned one on top of each other. And then we will move away from the alignment and back in again. Opposition is a very important part of Limon technique. Opposition is a line that's drawn through the body, through the arms, from the arms into the head, from the head down into the legs, and that opposition should have no tension. So when you reach, it's a reaching opposition rather than a tense opposition. And we'll use this opposition a lot to create the qualities that we're looking for. When I talk about weight in class, I don't mean heavy weight down. I mean the weight of the legs into the ground, so that you're attached to the earth. The opposition of the upper body against the weight is what I'm looking for. The class is made up of 3 sections: floor work, center, and across the floor. Before the class begins, we will work on the basics of Limon technique. These basics can be used throughout the class and should be applied to all movement as you do it. For demonstration purposes, some of the exercises are shown on one side. In a class, they would be done on both sides. The hands were the first place in the body that showed tension during a class, and Jose would stop us quite often and do a series of exercises to release the tension in the hands. He always said our hands looked like lobster claws at some times, and we had to learn to spread them and relax them. This exercise starts from the center of the chest, and you feel as though the arms are breathing through with the body. You start by dropping the pinkies down and lifting the thumb way up and let the wrist twist. As you reach forward, you let the elbows pull the hands out. Feel the succession all the way through the shoulders, the elbows, and the hands as you do the exercise. Shoulders are a very important part of the body orchestra. We must warm them up before we begin dancing. By rotating the shoulders in and isolating them from the rest of the body, we learn to get a better control of what the shoulder is doing and how it is connected to the arm. What you want to do is try and isolate it from the rest of the body as much as possible, and then let the body react to it as much as possible. Without straining or pulling any muscles, this is very easy on the body. Once again, we reach up and do as much as you can without moving the body, although the body must react since it is connected to the shoulder. And then give it as much reaction as you can so you feel the direction of the twist of the shoulder in affecting the rest of the body. Succession is the path of movement through different parts of the body. As this path travels through the spine, it connects the head to the shoulders, to the chest, and the waist. If starting in the head, you allow that to pull your shoulders down and pull your chest and pull your waist down. As you roll up, you think of pulling down the spine and up the front of the body till you're perfectly erect. Don't let the head drop, but think of lifting the head to go over, lifting the shoulders to go over, and lifting the waist to go over. Pull down the back and lift up the front and expand the shoulders as wide as you can as you do it. It's the exact same motion to the side, except you allow one side of the body to pull down, the other side of the body to lift up. Think of this movement as a wave of water traveling through the spine. Each move is connected to the next move and it becomes sequential. Successional arms are just like the body, except you have 3 joints to deal with: the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist. You can do it with flexed hands, which helps to get a good sense of oppositional energy going out of the arms. Or you can do it with straight hands, but make sure you don't let the arm go limp, that you keep the oppositional energy reaching from the fingertips. Now, as the body pulls up, do nothing with the arms until it reaches the thoracic or the chest, and then the arms go into action from the shoulders, the elbows, and then the hands out. And just reverse the process coming in. So the body breathes in first, up, up, then the arms take the action, the chest opens, the shoulders, the elbows, the hands. Notice that Jane is using the straight hand and Charlton is using the flexed hand. And you can see the difference in the shoulder, how it pulls down more with the flexed hand. Make sure that you maintain the high point as we did in the successional spine exercise along with this as you do it. When you complete the exercise, check that your spine is perfectly erect and then lower your arm. Isolations lying down blend together all the isolations we just worked on. By lying on our backs, we take a new orientation to space. And we start with the ribs bending, the elbow, the shoulder, and then the hand. The shoulder pulls down, the elbow comes in, you release the ribs and then open up the elbow and the hand. What we're trying to do here is blend all the isolations together so they become successional isolations. Each isolation pulls the next isolation and makes a sequential sequence of movement. It's this blending of the movement that gives the quality to what we're looking for in Limon technique. In standing bounces, we're going to learn to isolate different parts of the body using the bounce. We start in parallel position with the body as high as you can. You use potential energy to begin the bounce, and you allow the head to first bounce. The head is the heaviest part of the body. You then add the shoulders for 4 counts. Then the chest gets added for 4 counts, but keep the head and the shoulders bouncing. Then the waist. The knees go into action. Then do bigger knees. But still keep the head, the shoulders, the chest, and the waist bouncing. Then come up for 4 counts. As you releve from the top of the head, build up the potential energy again and allow that potential energy to bounce down. The head pulls the shoulders. This is the kinetic energy working for you. Now transfer that bounce feeling to the knees. Make it bigger. Again, you build up your potential energy, which gets transformed into kinetic energy as the head goes over. Realign your high point, let it travel up your side. Make sure you releve from the top of the head. In the preparatory exercise for alignment and fall, allow the body to stand in a high upright position, wide second. The knees go out to the side and the body bounces. Let the bounce stretch the legs as much as they can, and as you fall, allow the entire body weight to fall into it without letting the body collapse. Make sure the knees are aligned with the feet and that you build up plenty of potential energy for the fall. The fall accelerates as it goes down. Allow the arms to fall with the same energy the legs and the body have, and that fall gives a recovery at the end, which is what we refer to as fall and recovery. That recovery is a lift of the energy going down and picked up. The body bends are the same as we've been doing. If you notice, Jane has just added a high releve to it, but she's not pushing from the ankles at all. She's lifting from the body totally. Notice also as she goes to the side, the lift comes from the ribs rather than from the head. Spinal succession, which is the first exercise of class, make sure your body is relaxed and easy, you have no tension at all, and you're going to use breath to bring the body up successionally and the arms up successionally for 4 counts, and flex the feet on 4, and then reverse the process as you come in for 4 counts. You can actually try breathing. Take a deep breath in and let the body expand as you go up, and let the breath out as you come in. Keep in mind that we're doing it here with Jane with the straight hands and Charlton with the flexed hands, and that the arms do not operate until the back dictates it. Now we're going to change the rhythm. We're going to go up, 2, 3, in on 4, up, 1, up, 2, up, 3, in, 4, reverse it, go up on 1. You're blending the movement. On that 1 count, you're doing the same thing that took 4 counts to do before. Now you're going to do it 1 each way. Up, 1, in, 1, keep it moving. Bounces are used to warm up the spine and to practice rebound in the spine. The bounce is done in 3 counts, so the bottom of the bounce is the 1 and you rebound on the 2, 3. It goes 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4. Then use the spine rolling down the back and up the front and open your chest wide. Legs front, same bounce. Really feel the spine rolling down the back, up the front, open your shoulders as wide as you can. With the legs apart, don't let the hip joints bend. Make sure the bounce is still happening in the lumbar as well as the thoracic. Twist to the side, twist in the waist, and try and get both shoulders as square to the floor as you can. But at no time lose the rhythm of the bounce, 2, 3, bounce, 2, 3, bounce, 2, 3, bounce, and up. Keep the rhythm smooth. The stretch in the entire spine that's causing the rebound. The head is very heavy and the lowest part of the bounce. Bounces with successional arms, we do the exact same bounce you just saw, we add the successional arms to them. Make sure when you add the successional arms that the arms are controlled by the spine. Let it go, 1, 2, D. Yeah, now keep it smooth. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. 1. Again, resist breaking in the hip. Feel the bounce in the lumbar. One, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's a little arch added on the side to side at the top. Arch, arch, 1. Bounces with twist are used to practice fall in the body and rebound. When you fall with the body, you want to make the fall come from the back of the head, not from the front of the face. You also want to feel as though the fall is speeding up as it goes down, so it falls one, and the fastest part of the fall is the bottom. Now, if you notice, Emily's hip comes up off the floor, and it's perfectly all right for that to happen, depending on how tight your hip joints are, but you must pull down the hip first before the body rises. Get a good suspension as you turn forward and make the shoulders broad and wide. Even though Kirk's hip doesn't come up as much, he still pulls it down from the hip first before allowing the body to rise. This is a variation on body with twist. We add body, arms, and changing meter. By blending all the different body parts together, we create a quality of movement that we're looking for in Limon technique. It starts on 1, throw 2, up 3, 4, forward 5. Notice how the body going over, then you throw the shoulder out, you lift up through the spine, and you suspend as you come forward. Change to 3, 2, up 3, and try and blend one movement into the next. Again, making sure the hip comes down first before the body even lifts. We go to 2, so 1 and 2, 1 and 2. One count to 1, and a 1, and a 1. Make sure you suspend before you fall. Body swings are a way of practicing fall and recovery. Fall and recovery has no rebound in it, but has the same quality to it as a rebound. The body falls and then it recovers. It falls, then it recovers. The suspension at the top of the recovery, right here, goes fall, recover. Now notice they use their spine to lift the hips rather than using the hips to lift the spine. For demonstration purposes, the exercises are done on one side. When doing a full class, the exercises should be done on both sides. Standing bounces, we're going to work on alignment of the body and how to make the muscles relax and let gravity do the work for us in the bounce. Start standing very tall and bend from the hips. 2, 3, 4, let it go for 4 counts. Then hiss, and as you hiss, allow the muscles around the spine to relax. Then bounce, 2, 3, 4, and realign your spine. Now to the side, you tilt. 3, 4, let the head go, the shoulders, the chest, then the waist. Hiss. And as you're hissing the air out of your body, you collapse more. Let gravity bounce for you and let the bounce build from each drop. And then realign your spine. Tilt. 1, 2, 3, 4. First the head, then the shoulders, then the chest and the waist. Hiss. Really let the air out of your body. Then bounce. Let the bounce build. Let gravity work for you. And realign your spine. A little faster. Now we add the arms. First the head, then the shoulders, then the chest and the waist. And bounce. 2, 3, 4, and up. 2 successional arms open. 1, 2, 3, 4. The head is lift up to go over so you don't feel dead. You have a high point coming out of the ribs. Now as you take the body over, think of going up and over. And bounce. 2, 3, 4, and up. 2. Make sure you're perfectly straight. Lower your arm and let that bring you up to a nice high releve. Bring the heels down under you, lifting up high in the body. Tendu series is done to maintain a center in the body while the legs are changing. You have the first 4 tendus, which are very plain and simple, to try and find where the center of the hips are. So you plie and you're bringing your hips straight down. You want to bring them straight up again, and you have a few times here to find it. Once you find that central position, we'll start doing variations on it. But you need those hips directly over your feet for it to work. Now we add a turn. Feel the body lifting against the plie so you have very little weight in the legs. The body's lifting high. Now from this basic position we can add a body. It will rebound over. The rebound will help you come up. In the plie series we work on alignment, fall, and recovery. We use the fall and recovery to control the releve. We start by releveing. 5, heels down. 6, plie. 1, 2. You allow the body to fall over, the hips react, and you continue the pull. The spine takes you up to a high releve. Plie. 1. To the side. 3. 4, you use the rib cage coming down and up to take you to a high releve. 1. Fall. 3. 4, don't push in the ankles, lift in the body. We repeat this with the arms. Let the hip go out, but as soon as the body starts aligning, let the hip realign itself. Pull down one side, up the other side till you're perfectly square. This is a variation on the plie with a full body. 4, stay there. 5, you bring your heels down. 6, you plie. 1, 2, body falls. 4, 5, releve. 6, plie. 1. Now make sure you maintain a high point at all times as you come around. 1, 2, fall. 3, side. 4, back. 5, releve. Body swings in second position are used to warm up the head, shoulders, chest, and waist, and to feel the swing of the movement and the breath in a swing. It's done in 3s, and it goes 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. You take the head all the way around. 4, 5, 6, 1. Make sure just the head is moving and that your high point in the neck is carrying it for you. Now you add the shoulders to it. Keep the same swing in the head and let the shoulders collapse in and out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1. Now maintain the shoulders and the head and add the chest. down, up, up. It has a pendulum feeling to it and a little suspension around the back. Swing, 2, 3, swing, 2, 3, swing, 2, 3. Now we add the waist. Swing, swing. Feel the freedom in the body. Don't let any tension build up. Now maintain those 3 parts of the body and add the hips. 1, 2, 3, swing, 2, 3, all the way around, 4, 5, 6. When you add the hips, you can let them go side to side a little bit. What you want to feel is the freedom in the upper body. In this exercise, we add to the swing a stretch, and we do it in 5 threes. 5, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, swing, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3. Stretch the spine out, lift up. Notice the head, shoulders, chest, and waist are still working on the swing. In rebounds and threes, we'll learn to connect the rebound in the body to the rebound in the legs, adding body motion to it and a turn. We'll start with parallel position, standing as high as we can, and we'll bounce. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1. Now let the bounce build. So on the third one, you can feel the bounce take you to the releve and recenter yourself. 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1. 2, 3. Next, you'll see a variation in 5 threes with full body. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 1. Make sure you use the rebound to help you, and make sure that the rebound lifts you to releve. Let the body go. Everything rolls. 1, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3. This is the same exercise with a turn. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3. Blend the movements. 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 1. Now make sure the rebound takes you up to the releve. You use your high point. You do a half turn with the body. If you break it down into 2 half turns and make it a full turn, it works very well. Watch right here, you'll see half, half, around. In slow 2s, fast 3s, we're working on opposition energy between 5 points of the body, the head, the 2 hands, and the feet. This opposition should be equal in all points. The movement should be done very slowly, and you should feel the opposition at all times, making sure that there's no beginnings, no middles, and no ends. So it goes 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6. It helps to do 4s in your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 to make the movement very smooth. 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, before, make sure the feet are equally spaced so the weight is even between them at all times, because now we're going to add a 6th point of opposition in the spine with a body bend. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 6, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make sure that the high point in the spine lifts you over to the suspension. Don't let the legs do the work, but make the body lifting straighten the legs and take you over. This is a variation on the same exercise with the body making a full circle roll. Notice the quality change here. It has a breath in suspension, a second suspension, and then it lets go. In this variation, you let the body weight turn you. Don't push from the feet at all. All you've got to do is let the swing of the body and the lift take you around. Try and maintain the suspensions. So there's a suspension, another suspension, then you drop to come up, and the drop should be very loose and easy. Again, it's 2 half turns, half, half. In body falls, we're going to let gravity control the movement. We're going to use the gravity to create the speed of the movement and the recovery to create the suspension for the movement. This movement is done by starting in a high lift, and we let go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1. Now notice how they suspend at the top of each move. They suspend 1, and this is the suspension as we did in the slow 2s, fast 3s with the body. In the DEVELOPE series, we're going to work on successional flow through the entire body and work on the traveling high point through the spine. Passe 1, 2, forward 3, 4, up 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, up 5, 6, steps 7, close 8. Make sure the movement is very smooth, the body goes over. Now you roll up one side, down the other, feel your high point all the way through it. To the back, you have to go over a little further. Take it way down into the lumbar. That's the idea. The leg doesn't have to go very high. What's more important is how the body moves and takes you up into the releve. In the lunge series, we'll learn to take our weight way off center and pull it back onto center using the high point through the spine to lift us all the way up to releve. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to make sure that we get the hips over the leg before we start going up. Build up lots of potential energy, let it fall, then start your releve anywhere on the back that feels comfortable. You can start it way up around the shoulders to begin with, and as you become more proficient at it, you can start the releve lower in the spine. Feel good and suspended at the top. In the variation, don't use the body or the legs to help you turn. Use the outside arm. In this case, it'll be the right arm. It just gives a little push back to lift you up. The body and the legs are doing exactly what they did in the plain version. The left arm helps you around. With the full turn, you rely not only on the arm to help you, but the speed of the spine coming up. Let it take its time so it finishes to the front with you. The spiral turn is the first time we step outside of our center and spiral around it. It consists of a side bend, an arch, and a twist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now make sure the body makes the spiral turn, not the foot, and you get a good suspension before you drop over. The 12-count phrase combines all the elements of Limon technique: oppositional pull, hip isolation, rebound, and centering of the body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make sure you lift up to go over and turn the hip parallel. Now we're going to lift the leg in an arabesque, and both legs are turned in, then you have to turn the hips out to get back to center. Now the recovery will go through first position, and we add a little rebound to the body to help bring us up. Rebound up. 1. Make sure the speed comes down as fast as you can in that fall right here, so you rebound up. With the passe, we no longer go through first position, but we coupe and use the rebound to releve. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1. The speed at which you drop the body helps the rebound to bring you up, so that you're not using your legs, but you're using your spine to carry you all the way up to a high suspended position. With the turn, you allow the rebound to travel through space and the speed of the body to make you turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure that the rebound does not happen directly in front of you, but happens as you do the first quarter of the turn, and then continue the body moving to keep you turning. Jose Limon always spoke to us of the body as an orchestra. He said that each part of the body was a different instrument, and as the body moved, those instruments blended together to make beautiful music. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He would say, this is the timpani playing. It's a very heavy movement. And it was an ostinato, a repeated rhythm that went on, and he wanted as much weight as we could get into our legs as possible, going across the floor, holding our body up as high as we could. We would then add violins, and our arms would be the violins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But instead of playing the arms like the timpani underneath, we would try and move the arms smoother. So they went dee, ah, wah, 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 wee, ah, hum, bum, bum. Never losing the weight in the legs, or the timpani as we called it, and the nice high lifted body above the legs. Now we add a tuba to our orchestra. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The tuba is a much heavier weighted instrument. The body should have the heavy weight. Make sure you still play the timpani and the violins and add the tuba to it. By adding a turn, we can augment the phrase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This turn changes the shape of the movement. You still can see the individual entities, the timpani playing, the arms being the violin, the body being the tuba, and the turn sort of puts an extra little thing to it that makes the movement flow. In the PIQUE series, we're working on maintaining a high point and being able to shift the body weight through that high point. The count of 2 is the suspension. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. That 2 is very important. Now use the arm on that count of 2 to help you with the suspension, but don't give up any of the suspension in the body. Now make sure you travel through the high point on the count of 2 and maintain the high point down the side of the body each time you do a side point. When doing it with a turn, make sure you maintain the suspension through the high point as you face upstage. Allow the suspension to ride over the jump. Here we combine the jump and the turn. We first do each element separately, and then we put the 2 together. You can apply the body as an orchestra to the hop series. We'll be adding different instruments as we go along. The hop series is done in 8 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Think of the legs as the timpani again. Very percussive movement, but the body does not bounce up and down. It chugs along the floor. We add the arms here and the body going forward on 7/8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make the arms as smooth as you can. We now add another instrument, the body. Body goes side, back, side, over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. a turn, it will alter the quality of the movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. On the last spin, use the shoulders as the impetus for the turn. Then let the arms help you spin around. This is an exercise based on movement from Jose Limon's CHACONNE. This is a phrase from the men's trio from Missa Brevis by Jose Limon. At the end of class, we return to center to realign our bodies and warm down. During this warm down, we'll also get rid of any tension that we've built up in the body during the class. Plie. Plie and lift. As you do this, use your elbows to pull you all the way down, then use your elbows to lift you all the way up. You repeat it. Let all the muscles in the body relax. Let them drip down into the floor, but hold your skeleton up as high as you can through your high point. Take a deep breath and let that breath pull you up to a releve. Let the breath out and the heels come down and turn the legs parallel. As the head rolls down, it pulls the shoulders, the chest, the waist, and the hips till you're all the way down to the floor. You plie, stretch out the back of the legs, plie again, stretch out the back of the legs, then realign the body, and as you come up, open the front of the body wide. Think of the skeleton lifting as high as it can and the muscles are all dripping down. And I thank you. Recommended reading: The Illustrated Dance Technique of Jose Limon by Daniel Lewis, published by Harper and Row. For more information about the Jose Limon Dance Technique and the Limon Company, including dance classes, summer workshops, residencies, and performances, contact the Jose Limon Dance Foundation at 38 East 19th Street, New York, New York, 10003. 212-777-3353.
I am Finest Jung, and here I am teaching my daily 12 o'clock class in New York City. Taking this class are Christine Redpath and William Solo, who will be your demonstrators on this tape. My class, Basic Ballet for Adult Beginners, is in 4 sections. Section 1, Preparatory Exercises. Section 2, Floor Exercises. Section 3, Bar Exercises. Section 4, Center Exercises. Each section is clearly marked on this videotape. Let's begin by stretching up to the ceiling. Start by taking a breath, bringing your arms up, looking up to the ceiling. Reach up, stretch out of your hips, out of your shoulders, stretch your fingers, try to touch the ceiling. And now let the air out and slowly bring your arms and your head down. Look at the floor.
This 90-minute program is available on either VHS or Betamax cassette. For information about this program and a complete dance catalog, call toll-free 1-800-54-DANCE. In New York, call 212-242-3345 or write to Video D Studios, 29 West 21st Street, New York, New York, 10010.
Miles Everett was an actor as well as a classically trained dancer. He has appeared with the Boston Ballet, and he's done a number of roles, which means that he understands acting and has had experience with those techniques, and he also understands that what we do is not acting. Tom Sullivan was a teacher of emotionally disturbed children before he came to join the company last year, and I think that shows up in his dancing. That's a skill and a set of experiences that has very much entered the dancing that I ask from him. His compassion, his understanding, there's a kind of tenderness in him, on top of a tremendous physicality. What I look for in Tom is the power of his muscles, the power of his mass. In the last few auditions I've had, which happen to have been for women, I have said, to the surprise of the dancers, I'm looking for a woman with a great heart. And I feel that's what I found very much in Barb Mayberger. I wasn't terribly in... The Center Driver Dance Company means nothing until you are of the stature of Martha Graham. You have to establish the image. People would call themselves the New York Dance Quintet. The rap groups would call themselves the Strawberry Pancake, and everybody thought that was fine. I thought, this is a chance to show you what I'm doing and what I'm not doing. It telegraphs, to call the company Harry, telegraphs to the audience it isn't ballet, it isn't traditional dance, it's unexpected, it's live, and I think most usefully that you could laugh, that there's some kind of humor to it.
This 60-minute program is available on either VHS or Betamax cassette.
Dance Preludes captures a unique view of the Pennsylvania Ballet. Pennsylvania Ballet has been called by the New York Post dance critic Clive Barnes one of the nation's top handful of classic troupes. The New York Times proclaimed them the best company in the country outside of New York. The Philadelphia Inquirer feels Philadelphia is fortunate to have such a company. Join us behind the scenes of the Pennsylvania Ballet with artistic director Richard Weiss and the principal dancers of the Pennsylvania Ballet. This one-hour color program is available on VHS or Beta cassette for the retail price of $59.95. For more information, call Video D Studios, 212-242-3345, or write to us at 29 West 21st Street, New York, New York,